Well, y'all ready? Everybody ready?
Time? Yeah, you gonna call it? You want me to call it?
It don't make no difference to me. Tatum gonna be
Big
ready?
difference to me, brother.
All right.
Me too, I
See you
will.
then. Okay, I'll do it. I'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, let's, we'll call this, administrative committee to order. Let's all stand for an invocation and pledge of allegiance. Most gracious, loving Heavenly Father, dear Lord, we just pray that you'll be with us tonight, dear Lord, as we make decisions. Help us to make good, wise decisions, dear Lord. We thank you for all your blessings. We thank you for just watching over this parish and blessing it as much as you have, dear Father. We ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Follow me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Baker, do we have a president report that you're going to give?
No, I do not have one.
All right. Ms. McKay, legal counsel report.
No.
We have a call for additions or deletions to the administrative committee. All right, none. Guest and public comments. We have a Miss Sabrina Walker want to speak with us on special event that's on Brown Road. She at present?
No.
All right. All right, we have Mr. Wayne Medlin wants to speak about the compactor site in Stonewall. Mr. Medlin?
Yes.
Just a reminder, we're going to hold you to 3 minutes. You weren't on the agenda, and we're going to allow you 3 minutes to speak.
Well, because of that, I have a handout because I think I can move pretty quickly, provided you can follow along with me.
I'm sure y'all can read.
Don't start the clock till I start talking.
Well, why don't you give them to me and I'll pass them down?
Am I wrong?
No, no.
I think probably there's extra since nobody's here.
I'll make sure everybody has a copy.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Medlin.
Okay, the first chart that I have there, I've been alerted that under state law, no government agency can purchase property for more than its appraised value. This is the state site that is used for unimproved property such as that 47 acres. And they make a distinction on good property and property that has issues. And you'll notice at the bottom, I've made a little calculation there. But as you'll notice, it's by zip code, so this is specific to Stonewall area. And you'll notice over the years that it's been fairly low, but in the last couple of years, unimproved property up there has shot up. But it's still the highest at 6,000. But if half of that property is soil, then you're not going to get 6,000 an acre. Last I heard, that owner was wanting to sell it at 10,000 an acre. If you flip over to the second chart, you'll notice the concern we have about the traffic flow and where this is located. If you look down at the center at the bottom, you'll see the high school. Directly across from the high school is North DeSoto Estates. If you go just north of this red area that I identified as the 47 acres, you have Griffin Estates. But all of this home that's in here has to exit onto the highway off of Twin Oaks. So you have a really big congestion area there. I also numbered the number of entrants to the highway in that little short distance. This is not counting the residential driveways, and I noted it at the bottom. On the east side and the west side, heavily congested. We get over to the third sheet, you'll notice I'm not a artist by any means, but I did the best that I could. to show all of the restrictions that are on this piece of property. The white lines are showing you've got a power line problem. The red line is the existing oil pad road. The yellow line is a pipeline. If you look at the blue, and the reason I know about this is because you'll notice to the right of this property is my property, and this was identified by the Corps of Engineers and Soil Conservation decades ago. Matter of fact, on the back of my property is a pond that it took me from 1995 to 2004 to get the Corps to even issue me a permit to clean that pond out. That's how low it is back there. So, given all of those restrictions, it really is concerning why we would want to put a dump site in that environment. Now, I did contact both.
Wrap it up, Mr. Medlin, your time's almost up. So,
Okay,
and
well,
fact is up.
the two current compact site owners indicated to me that no one from this committee had reached out to them about leasing additional acreage. Don't understand it.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, we have Miss Pamela Britt wants to speak about the compactor site in Stonewall.
I'll just keep this brief. I don't need 3 minutes.
Okay,
I'm not here to, fight against it completely. I'm a local realtor. And if I can be of any assistance, I'm willing to do that. My biggest concern is, and I haven't done a whole lot of investigating, I'll be honest. I was supposed to make an appointment with him and completely forgot, so that is on me. But I have done a little bit of research, and y'all do 800 miles of roadway. Just in our little town, I have not drove the whole 800 miles, and I don't intend to. But there's a severe drainage problem with potholes and everything else, and I really do feel like the $2 million that you're gonna spend toward a new dump site could be allotted in different ways. Like, there's hardly even ditches down Rambin or Middleton or Jeannie, and those are police jury roads. I mean, I can continue my investigating, but I think it's absolutely absurd that we have 2 dump sites and wanna buy a new one, but we can't even dig a ditch. Thank you.
okay, thank you. All right, let's move along, administrative items. Item number 2, authorize the president to sign the resolution consenting to the assignment, state agency lease number 22-261 from Beta Land Services, all of their rights, titles, and interest in said lease to Chesapeake, Louisiana LP.
So move.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote on that. All right, motion passed. Item number 3, accept Brian Norwood Jr.'s resignation letter from the DeSoto Parish Waterworks District 1 Board.
So move.
Have a motion, Mr. Baker,
Second.
second. All right, any discussion on that? All right, if not, vote. All right, motion passed. Item number 4, appoint a new member to the DeSoto Parish Waterworks District 1 Board.
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Simpson.
Second.
All right, second by Mr. Johnson.
Have anybody?
Let's, what do you want to make of the motion to appoint make nominations at the next meeting?
Yeah, that's best, I think, Ms. Trina. You good with that? You good with that, Ms. Trina?
Yes.
Nominate and vote on someone at the meeting,
Yes.
regular meeting, yes. All right, motion passed. Item number 6, authorize the president to sign a resolution adopting a citizen.
Number five.
Number 5.
Number
Number 5, oh, I'm sorry. Number 5, discuss dash cameras being placed in dump trucks, roll-off trucks, and permit vehicles, permit officer vehicles.
Mr. Holmes, I can comment on this. There is a sheet.
We
I'll make a
haven't-
motion.
I'm sorry.
I'll second.
It's for discussion.
All right,
Sorry, I
got
got
a
ahead of
motion
you
and a
there.
second.
We got a quote from the Acadian Total Security who does provide us with some service on these dash cameras. It's going to be effective about a 5% reduction in our premiums for insurance if we put these in our dump trucks, our roll-off trucks, and the permanent officer vehicles, which totals about 37. If you look in your packets, you will find in your packet, there's a cost for this right now, for all of the cameras. There's a one-time upfront cost for installation and the purchase of the cameras, and then there's a reoccurring about $7,000. So it would require an amendment to the budget for just the $7,000 because we're paying for the equipment out of the current budget. We have that much in the budget. Yes, ma'am.
I see here that it says for the dump trucks, roll-off trucks, and permit officer vehicles. Is it limited to or not? What about just all of our vehicles that we use?
Not all of them engage the public like the dump trucks do, and, like the permit officers do. The permit officers have probably the most interaction with the public.
When you say most interaction,
They're
give me
pulling
an
them over
example.
and giving them tickets. So they're writing tickets every day. So we have 4 permit trucks.
Okay.
The dump trucks and the roll-off trucks, we are a constant target by litigation, by people who accuse us of doing things, and this is at the advice of talking to the insurance company. Putting dash cameras in would help alleviate and defray some of that, and just provide backup, video backup to the interaction that these dump trucks might have. Now, these are forward-facing and interior, so they do record the driver as well as anything in front of them. So this, again, the benefit is going to be about a 5% reduction to our premiums, which right now is about $15,000.
I'm okay with the benefits, but my concern is, I guess, with the cameras is all of these trucks that are out here, the supervisors, all of those trucks, I mean, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is just limited to these particular trucks and not as far as a liability for all of our trucks? So you're saying because these don't move as often as or are visible with the public that they should not be included as far as to, I'm just
No,
trying to
it's
see
a-
the justification.
It's a cost estimate. Basically, those vehicles are a lot less likely to be involved in an accident versus the dump trucks and the roll-off trucks, which we've had multiple accidents with them over the years. And we can do that, and it'll basically double your cost, because I'd have to get a count of all those vehicles. Now, some of those vehicles, most of those vehicles stay home. There's only a few of them that go out, that go all over the parish all the time. So, I mean,
It was
I would be
just my-
glad to bring that back. I mean,
Yeah, it was just my question, just trying to figure out how was it chosen for these individual trucks versus all of our,
based upon the number, the
vehicles.
amount of litigation we get involved in. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Any more discussion?
Uh,
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, Mr. Norton, so, who would be the one to monitor the, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be, we're gonna have GPS, or do we already have GPS on the truck?
We have GPS in them already.
So, I guess the person who monitors GPS will also monitor the cameras and.
Yes, sir.
And will they be equipped to show events like cell phone use and things like that? Will they be alert? Will they be able to alert?
I'd say yes, sir. I'm not an expert on that. IT has been working on this for us.
The camera's got an AI interactive that you can set to where if they're on the phone, you get a notification.
Okay,
If they don't have their seatbelt on, you get a notification. That kind of stuff. If they're smoking, you get a notification.
right.
You can do that kind of stuff. And that's where he was talking about how it helps with the insurance and stuff.
Okay, so, just personal or professional experience, you know, I've managed 3 different trucking companies. And once we moved to these, I can say firsthand experience, when we moved to the cameras, it saved us a lot in litigation and hit and runs. And, you know, somebody would pull over and say, you just hit my vehicle. Well, I have a camera right there that says we didn't, and they would drive off. So, I mean, it really, it's got its pluses and its minuses. I know people don't want to be watched every day, and I know people don't want to have a camera in their face every day, but at the same time, you know, at the end of the day, I know we're a public entity, but we're also, you know, a business. So, you know, any chance or way we can save ourselves from litigation, I can speak from personal experience that this does work. So that's it, Mr. Hall.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make an alternate motion that we amend the budget by $7,000 to be able to put these cameras in the truck.
Okay,
I second.
we have an alternate motion and a second to go ahead and amend the budget for $7,000. Any discussion on the alternate motion? I had one question.
Yes, sir.
We use a lot of contractors. How liable are we if they have an accident while doing work for us?
Contractors have general liability. They're required to carry $1 million policy with us, so their $1 million policy would be, take the initial hit. Now, to my knowledge, since I've been here, I don't think we've been sued, aside from the Monday landfill, the accident out there where that man lost his life. The initial contractor was sued, but we were looped into that. I don't think you'll ever get away from that, Jimmy, realistically. I think because we're the entity, we are the public entity, we're probably always going to be the target of that. But, you know, that's,
Should we possibly require those contractors have the cameras?
we could, but that would be a policy that you guys would need to pass. And, I mean, I'm not opposed to that, because
we're
we
still liable.
have 6 trucking companies. And those trucking companies that we contract with, that's not in their current contract, it's only required that they have the general liability insurance.
Maybe something to think about then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more discussion on the alternate motion? All right, if not, vote. All right, motion passed. All right, item number 6, authorize the president sign a resolution adopting a citizen participation plan for the CBDG program.
So moved.
Have a motion from Mr. Ross,
Second.
second by Ms. Simpson. Any discussion on this? All right. If no discussion, vote. Motion passed. Have a motion to adjourn the administrative committee.
So moved.
Have a motion, second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Community service and development. Highest one here on the list is you, Nick. You get to run that.
All right, we'll roll into community service. Call for any additions or deletions? Guest and public comment? Item number 1, authorize accepting the donation from Louisiana Housing Corporation for a F-350 and a weatherization mobile unit trailer.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Johnson,
Excuse me, I'm not on that committee.
Oh, I'm sorry, second.
second by Ms.
See my
There
name
were three
on
of us
there.
here.
Okay. Any discussion? Mr. Norton, what exactly is this?
The Louisiana, and forgive me, Ms. Gladys can probably give you more detailed information on this, but the 50,000-foot view on this is, there is an F-150 that's available through Louisiana Housing Corporation, public entity, that they're going to donate to us. We have to have an agreement with the jury to accept that donation for us to use it at OCS in the weatherization program, as well as the unit, the trailer. It comes with no cost. The whole thing's donated to us. So the only thing we'll have to bear cost on would be insurance, you know. And from what I understand, I don't know how old Gladys, do you know, is the F-350 a brand-new vehicle? No, it's not. It's not? Okay. Yeah, so it's not a brand-new vehicle, but any cost that we may need to do to repair it, if it needs to be repaired.
Mileage?
Yeah, I don't have that information. 10,000? Right, it's not too old, but I know that, but again, you know, sometimes these vehicles, if they've been involved in an accident, I don't know that at this point. We'd have to cross that bridge, so.
I can replace some of what we got.
More discussion? Please vote.
Only three of us that can vote.
Motion passes. Number 2, review and discuss potential funding sources and strategies for the weatherization program. I'll make the motion for discussion.
Second.
Ms. Gladys, is she?
Yes,
going-
Ms. Gladys and Michelle, our weatherization supervisor, here to give you guys a more detail on this. Yeah, no, come on up here.
Good evening. So speaking with Lauren, I think her last name, Holmes, a few weeks ago, they're having difficulties with the BIL money that we were allocated, well, they allocated to everyone in the state. But we just got those contracts, I think the latter part of the summer, but they're having a difficult time getting in touch with the specialists in DC. We're assuming because of all the changes that's going on. So speaking with them, and we sent you all the notes from the meeting that was held in February. Right now, they're doing us to reallocate the invoices, but they're also projecting that we do a budget projection 2 months at a time, just to see how far we can go with the funding. Right now, we're just a waiting game, really it is. And Michelle can give you more details on that.
So basically, I'm Michelle Hughes, the weatherization coordinator at OCS. So every July when we start our program year, we receive 3 pots of money, basically. Every year we receive the same 2 pots of money, DHHS and DOE. This year we got the bipartisan infrastructure law money that was passed in the Biden administration. The state just released that to us. I think we got it in November. They wanted us to spend, but come January, halt, put the brakes on. We're coming into some issues. The project officer for Department of Energy cannot be reached. They're having trouble reaching anyone in Department of Energy. This is nationwide, not just Louisiana. So they want us to start allocating any money we were gonna spend using the BIL funds to our regular pots of money, which is the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Energy funds. They asked me to do a projection of spending and production schedule for them, and I did that using our 2 funding sources, and I can get us through March right now using those funding sources. They will allow me to do a budget contract amendment. They said this is just a day-by-day thing with the feds. They could get answers tomorrow and be able to draw down the money for the BIL contract. It's just a holding pattern. I talked with them again today, the office in Baton Rouge. It's just a holding pattern. They can't give any updates because they don't have any updates from their project manager in Golden, Colorado.
So in other words, things are frozen.
Not officially, we don't have official word, but yes, holding pattern is what they kept saying to me.
So you're saying March, is March, this March here,
This March.
2025?
And then there's no other funds to pay out.
They will allow me to do a contract amendment on one of the funds. I've given them my projections last week of what I think I would need. I haven't got an approval on that yet. And of course, we're usually 2 months behind getting the reports done. So when I say March, that means I would probably be submitting that in May. Just like now, we're just now working on January. So even though I would be working, we're about a month to 2 months behind on our reimbursement.
I'm brand new to this. My understanding is that we are responsible for ourselves and 9 other parishes as part of this program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So we do the facilitation, we front the money, and we wait for the reimbursement.
Yes, sir.
And so this could be potentially 9 other parishes' needs that we're funding, including ours.
10 total, yes, sir.
So it's 10 total, including us.
Yes, sir. 10 total, yes.
And so that being said, Mr. Norton can make an answer to this, or y'all may have the answer to this. Do we have any idea of, or is it a waiting game at this point to see, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's been something the jury's done for decades, that we kind of took this on, maybe to create jobs, or we really don't know why we're funding 9 other parishes with their upfront money.
I've worked
I
here
don't think
18
we
years,
fund-
and I've had the same 10 parishes since.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
and
don't
I'm
know-
not,
I don't
you
know
know-
when they passed to take on other
Right.
parishes.
I'm just trying to figure out the backstory really of why we decided to, I know we front the money, wait for reimbursement. I mean, we don't make any money. I think it's just a job creation and and we love to see jobs created, don't get me wrong.
Well, from what I understand, historically, I've been here when there's been comments on this program. It's, it also has been thought to provide services, certainly to DeSoto residents in terms of helping upgrade the home issues. Is that, that's what I've been here. That's the purpose of the program. So that's been discussion when I've been present, is the actual goal and purpose of the program.
Yeah, the program is to make homes energy efficient so they can save money on their utility bills and lower their overall costs.
So we have to see if we're gonna keep fronting the money and hoping we get some on the back end, basically.
Can I just, so we're bringing this to y'all because, yes, basically I need some guidance on how far do y'all want to upfront this money, not knowing when we're gonna get reimbursed? Currently, right now, I'm owed December's reimbursement. Now, because of, they told us they wanted us to spend all this from this pot that is now on a holding pattern. Well, and we didn't get it until like November. Their program works from July till June. So from July all the way to November, we use the other 2 pots. Now, keep in mind, they cut one of those pots pretty much in half because, oh, y'all are getting a third source of money, so here it is. Well, now we're told, no, you can't draw the money yet. So as the treasurer, I don't know, without y'all's guidance, how much do we want it up front without having anybody to answer to us, when are we gonna get that money? Now, Michelle, pretty much for the December and January, we made some adjustments to kind of recoup all. We had to, everything that was coded to the BIL, we recoded to the other 2 funding sources. So she's submitting for that. So we are, usually it's about a month before we get reimbursed. So I'm pretty confident that thing about it is those 2 pots are only holding so much money left over because we already spent the majority thinking we have the BIL that we're gonna finish the year in June. So, like she said, she put in an amendment to try to get some more money from the other two in order to cover our houses until April. But you have to keep in mind payroll, on a monthly basis, runs about 30 grand for those people that work for this program, not including your materials that they spend to go and do the houses. So you're looking at anywhere from 30 to close to an average of 45 a month. The whole OCS is funded through the federal government. They have different other programs. Now, we do fund them $120,000 that y'all see transfer. Well, the other programs are they run the same way. They're always kind of behind. Weatherization is actually one that has been really good about, okay, I know we're lagging a month and a half. But if we're in a holding pattern, then I'm gonna have to be giving y'all reports of we're on a deficit because we don't have any funding coming. So I guess it's like, how much are y'all willing to put to get us through June? Do we transfer more money from the general fund? In Louisiana Housing, it's not telling us that the money's gone. They're just saying they can't get in touch with anybody to be able to draw that money down to send to us.
And if it helps, I do have my projections I can give you for January. With all three funds, my January invoice is $88,000. $18,000 of that is from the BIL to cover indirect costs. My February total estimate is going to be about $74,000. Once again, $15,000 of indirect costs from the BIL, and I'm estimating that March is going to be about $55,400 and about $15,000 from the BIL in indirect. So my two regular pots of money, you'll get reimbursed in January. You'll get reimbursed $70,000. February, I know you'll get reimbursed for $55,000, and March about $37,000. It's the BIL that I have to tack on indirect costs. We just don't know when. Nothing's been canceled. Holding pattern.
Mr. Raines.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hall?
I would say that we shouldn't go any further than what money we have. If we're on standby or hold, then I think we need to go on standby or hold, whatever you want to call it. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these employees are temporary employees when we hired them, right? Michael?
No, sir, I don't believe they're temporary.
I thought that's what we called them when we hired them, because at one time we had a hiring freeze. And the only reason we hired them is because it was a employee that was funded by this, and they were considered temporary.
No, that must have predated my administration, Jimmy. Honestly, I don't know anything about that.
I don't think we need to get into it any further than where we're at, because there's a reason why we're doing 10 parishes. No other parish wants to get involved in this. If I'm not mistaken, about a year ago, it was brought to us to take over Caddo, wasn't it? Yes. And we voted that down.
Correct.
So I would say we need to stay where we're at.
Meaning,
We don't have funding for it. Our funding comes from federal government. If it's not coming, then that's the end of the funding.
And I guess, Jimmy, is that the funding's there to finish off for June. It's just a matter of when we're going to. It's not if we're going to get the funding back. It's when we're going to get that money back.
and it's just the building infrastructure, it's just the BIL
It's
money.
just one particular pod.
The other two pots are available when we submit reports.
So you're saying like the 18,000, the 15,000, And the other 15, those are the pod, that's the pod
It's on hold.
that's on hold.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we add up the 18,000, 15, 30, like $48,000 is what we would be waiting to get back.
Correct.
So if we weren't, let's just say we on hold, that's not where my thought is, but if we're on hold, these individuals lose their jobs.
I mean, essentially, that decision is up to the jury, whether you want to go ahead and upfront that cost, not knowing when we're going to get reimbursed, and it will have to come out of the general fund. Like I said, we currently already transfer $120,000.
Okay.
And that is really to keep them afloat
Okay.
based on the timing of us, lagging on getting that refunds back or payments back, reimbursements back. Not just this project, or this program, but they have 3 other programs too. So that's where that $120,000 transfer comes in every year.
Okay.
So, I mean, essentially, if you want to put it that way, yes, we will have to either lay off some people. It just depends. Do y'all want to cover this? And
So we would be covering the 48? Or we would be covering this 88,000 plus the 18?
you will cover everything that's on that particular pot of money, the BIL. And we're trying our best to move and utilize everything that we can out of the other 2 pots that we know there's no issues with that.
Okay.
And that's what the state wanted me to give them projections for last week, was your current 2 pots of money you have, how long could you survive? And I told them January, February, and March units.
Okay.
And I think you have projections all the way till April.
Yeah, I did April too, but at that point, I would need them to do a contract amendment to release some more funds from
Mr. Baker?
DHHS.
So you have funds to physically carry the people working right now through this month or through April?
March.
Essentially,
End
I'd
of
say March.
Through this
The
month?
end of March.
Doing the report March, which would probably fall in May.
Do we know how much money from these funds is expended in the other 9 parishes?
I don't have that handy, but I could get that.
I'm just asking
Yes,
that you can get it.
yes.
So we know out of the whole pile where the money goes from
Yes, sir.
parish to parish.
Yes, sir, like from July of
I
this year.
don't mind carrying the work in this parish, okay? I'm not real kind to other parishes, okay? Because most time they're not kind to us.
True.
We have done this for years. So there has to be a communication with the other parishes to see if they want to carry their parishes until the federal government makes up their mind
On what they
if they're
gonna
going
do.
to fund us. If they don't, whatever parish who does not want to contribute the equivalent of their BIL money or whatever to us, we quit giving them a service. Understand what I'm saying? If they don't want to pay, they ain't going to play. So somehow we need to figure some numbers up quickly and communicate with the other parishes what's going on. It's not our fault. We didn't cause the problem. We want to find a way to be able to create
Solution.
and keep giving the work to their parishes, but we're not going to pay for it. So somehow we need to come up with a communication plan to the other 9 parishes, and at some time, in some way, be able to give them the information that we have on what it will cost them to continue to contribute. And tell them, if we get reimbursed for it, we will reimburse you, but we're not gonna carry it. And once the government gets, we're back on getting us refunded in a timely manner like we were, they'll have to continue to contribute. But once we're caught up, we'll give them the money back if we get even with the government. See what I'm saying? We're just not gonna carry them. I'm willing myself personally to carry this parish, but I'm not willing to carry the other parishes.
So,
Understand what I'm saying?
yeah, I'd like to weigh in on that. I need to read the original contracts and agreements. I mean, I think this has been reliably being paid for decades. So I'm not sure this is a problem that was reasonably anticipated. So I need to look at the contracts that are in place, what they provide for. And also, Mr. Baker, hearing your concerns, if it's the will of the police jury, which could be voted on at some other point, I could draw up proposed CEA agreements for you to consider with the other parishes that would be consistent with Mr. Becker's remarks that you could consider as a jury as a possible solution. If they're funded through the end of March, you have another meeting this month. We could put those on the agenda for the next meeting. Who knows? Tomorrow the money might be released. It might be off or not. But if you're coming up on a possible problem by the end of the month, I think the first thing to do is to read the agreements that were entered into, number one, and then number two, if it is legally appropriate and possible, then draw up CEAs based on the information they provide with the money, the funding, and put that on the agenda next month, which somebody could make a motion to do here now, to put on the regular meeting. That would be my suggestion.
We need to make an alternate motion to have this move to the next meeting.
Regular
The
meeting.
month of, next regular meeting?
Well, you
Or
just need,
April.
well, you need to have a motion to put on the agenda a review of the contract commitments of the DPVJ and also consider CEAs with the 9 other parishes, consistent with Mr. Baker's recommendations for this jury to consider.
Jody, are you typing that?
Yeah.
Thank you, 'cause I wouldn't be able to give you that back.
I would make it 2 things. One is a report on a motion. You need to have a motion to have a report to consider the contracts already entered into. And number 2 would be a motion to consider CEAs for 9 non-DeSoto Parish police juries that participate in this program.
And somebody on your committee has to make that amendment.
I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see.
waiting
how-
for her to put,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for her to put it up there, and
I'm
I'll
waiting to see how
gladly
it's
read
stated,
it.
yeah.
I would gladly read it, but,
Jody,
I can't make it.
Jody, please put in, specify the weatherization program in there, please.
While she's typing that, I got one more question. I'm sorry, Nick. I got one more question. Is it business as usual with taking in filed claims and going and doing the work? So it's business as usual, so
Yes, sir.
there's a potential to put a hold on that too if we have to come to that point, I guess. I don't think it's a, yeah,
We have to,
yeah,
Whatever y'all decide.
we have to.
okay. As soon as she puts it up there.
Last crew we hired to do this, the state was asking us to put another, hire some more people.
Well, she's gonna read the motion.
I'm gonna read the motion.
You know,
Motion to consider CEAs with the governing bodies for the upfront cost for the weatherization program.
Is it up there?
Not yet. I need a second.
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 Trina. Mr. Johnston.
Any more discussion?
Okay, that's the first one.
Please
She's gonna
vote.
put the first part in her report, Ms. McKay.
Okay, so we're just gonna have this one?
We're just going to have this motion. I decided I could do the other part in just a legal counsel report
Okay,
on the contract issue.
okay.
Okay.
Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Together.
Oh, we done?